With Will still battling the emotional fallout from being groomed and abused by Megan Walsh, harsh comments from Sam Blakeman and his father Ben drive him toward a dangerous breaking point. But can the divided family unite in time to help him? Or will Megan continue to manipulate events from the shadows? Daniel struggles to cope after becoming the target of online abuse from Truth Teller. When the harassment escalates into a real-life attack, he turns to his father Ken Barlow for support. Believing the nightmare may finally be ending, Daniel arranges a family get-together, but his troubles are far from finished. Meanwhile, newcomer Idris wastes no time making an impression on Leanne Battersby after arriving on the street. Leanne quickly grows attracted to him, despite Alia Nazir warning her to be careful. Elsewhere, Danielle Silverton returns with fresh anger aimed at Todd Grimshaw, while Betsy Swain and Dylan Wilson compete fiercely for a single job opportunity. Fizz Dobbs also becomes increasingly uneasy over Hope's growing fascination with Will. After Sam, who is feeling seriously unwell, tells Will that he wishes he were dead, and Will overhears Ben saying Megan has destroyed their lives, Will climbs onto scaffolding while drinking vodka. Asha Alahan begs Maggie Driscoll to intervene, prompting Maggie to climb up and encourage him to regain control before it's too late. As panic spreads below, Megan secretly watches from nearby. Daniel later discovers that Birdie is being bullied because of the Truth Teller scandal. Furious, he decides to respond publicly. He is then shocked to find Jody Ramsey inside his flat, reading his online reply and demands answers from her. At the same time, Todd cuts ties with George Shuttleworth, Christina Boyd, and Mary Taylor before temporarily moving in with Sarah Platt. Over at Speed Doll, Leanne gives Betsy and Dylan trial shifts, leading the pair into direct competition for the one available position. When a frightened teenager named Damo causes chaos on the street, Idris steps in after a group of loud businessmen spill curry over Brody Michaelis' trainers inside Speed Doll. Alia welcomes Idris warmly, while Leanne recognizes him as Cal's cousin. Idris explains that he recently bought a property agency in Manchester. Adam Barlow immediately becomes suspicious of him, while Brody asks Idris for work. Later, Idris is seen dragging Damo into the ginnel. Elsewhere, Danielle pays a large deposit for Theo Silverton's funeral flowers, prompting Tracy Barlow to suggest she could inherit a significant amount of money. George soon begins to suspect that Danielle may have had a motive for murder. Will later discovers Megan's phone number written on a note in his pocket, while Sarah informs Kit Green that Todd will be staying with her temporarily. Daniel also warns Jody that the police are now investigating the trolling campaign. As Daniel's torment continues, Jody notices that Truth Teller has suddenly gone silent online, although other trolls quickly continue the abuse. On his way to visit Ken, Daniel is ambushed by two youths who throw paint over him while recording the attack. When Daniel later spots Idris laughing at the video footage in Speed Doll, he loses his temper. Idris later sends Brody out on his first assignment before celebrating Eid with Adam and Alia, who offers him a place to stay. Todd then receives shocking news that could change his future forever. Fizz becomes even more concerned about Hope's attraction toward Will, while Jody is devastated after Roy Cropper informs her that she no longer has a job at the cafe because Shona Platt has returned to work. Danielle causes another scene when she storms onto the street accusing Todd of murdering Theo for life insurance money. Mary immediately fires accusations back at her. Just as Danielle leaves, Ryan Connor appears and reveals that he recognizes her from the night Theo died. Ken later advises Daniel to take a proper break and clear his head. However, he is horrified to learn Daniel spent his previous holiday hiding inside his flat and reminds him that Birdie deserves better. Meanwhile, Idris is impressed after seeing Leanne stand up for herself and asks her out on a date. During the evening, he attempts to kiss her. At the same time, Hope finally manages to make Will laugh, leaving Fizz deeply worried. Daniel eventually reveals to Jody that every Truth Teller post has mysteriously disappeared online, prompting him to organize a celebration with his family. A dramatic set of flashbacks then uncovers a shocking hidden truth, exposing lies and deception surrounding one resident. Elsewhere, Ryan shares his suspicions about Danielle with Lisa Connor Swain, leading to Danielle's arrest. Alia later discovers Idris kissed Leanne and warns her to stay away from him, especially after Idris quickly moves on and begins flirting with Tracy. Coronation Street's ongoing murder investigation takes another explosive twist next week as Danielle Silverton openly blames Todd Grimshaw for Theo's death. During a heated confrontation, Theo's former wife drops shocking claims that she believes place Todd at the center of the crime. However, questions soon arise over whether Danielle is actually trying to divert suspicion away from herself. Only recently, Danielle and Todd had found common ground through their difficult experiences with Theo, a show insider explained. Now, they've completely turned against each other once again. As Danielle becomes convinced Todd is responsible, another major revelation suddenly casts suspicion back onto her. It's possible neither of them is telling the full truth. Following recent developments in the investigation, Todd clashes with George Shuttleworth and Christina Boyd after they help place Summer Spellman high on the suspect list. Evidence uncovered against Summer makes her appear guilty in the eyes of the police, but Todd remains convinced she is innocent and fears her future could be destroyed over a misunderstanding. Feeling guilty over the chaos, George desperately tries to repair his friendship with Todd by offering an apology, but Todd refuses to accept it. Mary Taylor attempts to calm tensions inside the house, yet Todd remains furious and decides to move in with Sarah instead. As the mystery surrounding Theo's death intensifies, attention begins shifting toward another person who may have had reason to want him gone. Tracy has been arranging the flowers for Theo's funeral, the insider continued. Danielle unexpectedly offers to cover the cost, which Tracy immediately finds suspicious considering everything Theo put her through. Tracy later points out to George that Danielle could potentially receive a large life insurance payment after Theo's death. Together, they begin wondering whether that gives her the strongest motive of all. The upcoming funeral proves emotionally overwhelming for Todd, who is already struggling with personal problems. After receiving a distressing phone call, he tells Sarah he simply cannot face attending Theo's farewell service. Instead of going to the funeral, Todd heads to the bistro, where he unexpectedly encounters George, Christina, Mary, and James Bailey. Although things remain uncomfortable between Todd and his former friends, George hopes they may finally start repairing the damage. Any chance of peace quickly disappears when Danielle storms into the bistro and furiously accuses Todd of murdering Theo in order to claim money from his life insurance policy. Todd's friends immediately defend him, leaving Danielle furious as she storms away. Moments later, Ryan Connor suddenly recalls seeing Danielle on the night Theo died. After sharing this information with Lisa, Danielle is brought in for police questioning. But what explanation will Danielle give? Coronation Street continues weeknights at 8:30 p.m. on ITV1 and is also available for streaming on ITVX.